world out there. So, a couple months ago, I started doing something that I just did on a whim to see. It was kind of an experiment to see what would happen. And it's kind of become part of my routine. And I wanted to share it with you. So, at the end of the day, I work at a middle school. And at the end of the day, a lot of us teachers are expected to stand outside of our door in the hallway and keep an eye on things and talk with students and that kind of thing. And say goodbye, have a great afternoon, that kind of thing. So I've been doing that this year, and I decided to mix things up one day. So one day I decided that, so I have these little whiteboards, right? I have like 60. And so I decided to grab one of these whiteboards and I just wrote a really quick message on it. And the message said, have a wonderful afternoon. That was it. And so what I did was because I got sick of like saying hi to some students and being ignored and getting fist bumps by others, which feels nice, but I just wanted to see what would happen if I just held up a board, right? With a little message on it. So I held the board up with the message that said, just have a wonderful day. And it what got a lot of responses. So what was really interesting to me is so I had kids come up and they read it. So they would come up and they would take like a couple seconds and read it, and then they would do this and say, "You too, miss," and walk away. And I'm like, oh my God, what is happening right now? And this happened over and over and over again for like the 5 minutes I stood out in the hallway. I had kids that had, that I'd said hi to, hadn't said hi to me, but they read my board and then they looked at me and it was like this instinct in them to be polite and say it back to me, right? You have a wonderful afternoon too, miss. And I realized, wow, I think I started something here because I got them to slow down. I got them to pay attention to me. I got them to read, right? And I got them to respond to my little message in a really wonderful, polite way. So I decided I started something. Let's keep this going. So the next day, I held another sign and it said, um, socks with sandals, yay or nay, right? And I live in Washington, so that is a very that is a very Washingtonian question, right? And I had a whole bunch of students that got really into it. They're like, "Yay!" Right? And then I'd be like, "Yay, Washingtonians, right here!" Or they would be like, "No," and I'd be like, "Are you from California?" Right? So I started to connect more and more with students that weren't mine or students who were. So I started doing things that were, I want to do things that were relatable to the students and also things that I wanted to know. So one day, um, I decided to say, which way would you like to be graded? With a 1, 2, 3, 4, which is what we do, or with a letter grade, A, B, C, D, F. And so this was actually kind of scientific just for me. And so many students would come by and they would say, I want letter grades or I want this or whatever. And then some of them would stop and like say, and like wanted to talk to me about it, wanted like the conversation to go a little bit further. I had things like, um, favorite summative assessment, right? And so I'd say test, project, essay. And I would always say, whenever I do an option, I would always say 1, 2, or 3. So kids can actually say, project all the way, or they could say number 2. I've gained like rapport with a lot of students who weren't mine, and I've strengthened my rapport with students who are mine. And one day, after doing this like every day for a while, one day I didn't have my sign, and I didn't go outside with my little board, and I just went out. I just didn't do it because I was, busy, right? And didn't have time. So I just stood out in the hallway as usual and saying goodbye to students. And I had a couple kids come up to me and ask me where my board was. What was the question of the day? And I'm like, wow, this is really huge to me because I just had I mean students have just told me that this is something they look forward to, and if they look forward to it, and it really doesn't take much time out of my day, and I thought, wow, this is I'm gonna keep doing this. So I just wanted to share this thing that I started a few months ago that's been a big hit and means something to the kids, even though it's small and silly. It's something to look forward to, and it's a great thing not only to build rapport with students, but to do something where they leave the school on a high note, right? As always, remember to like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.